An introduction to nouns and gender. So the easiest way to define a noun, what is a noun? The easiest way to define a noun is a person, place, or thing. I'm sure you've heard that before. So for example, a person, Stephen. Stephen is a noun. A place, Toronto, where I live. Toronto is a noun. Or a thing, dog, table, cat. Those are all nouns too. Now in Punjabi, every noun has a gender. Okay, so that means it's either masculine or it's feminine. Sometimes it's very obvious what something's gender is. For example, a boy is obviously masculine, a girl is obviously feminine. But what if I told you that beard is feminine? Dari. A dari, meaning beard, is feminine. It's important to know a noun's gender because other words in a sentence change depending on the noun's gender. So for example, the word for my, as in like my dog, my cat, whatever, is Mera. But Mera can become meri, mere, and merian, depending on whether it's a boy or a girl, single or plural, singular or plural. So for example, my brother is Mera Bhraa, but my sister is meri bhain. So you have to know the gender of words because you have to change the other words around them. There are many ways that words change depending on gender, and we're going to talk about that in later videos. But right now what I want to look at are the patterns that help show you whether or not a noun is masculine or feminine. Now remember that there are exceptions to every rule. Nothing is foolproof here. And natural gender is very obvious, but there are always exceptions. Anyway, let's get into it and take a look at some of these. Masculine nouns. Masculine nouns. So, firstly, masculine singular nouns. Those which are talking about one object. So dog, not dogs. Cat, not cats. That's what we're talking about here. Okay? A singular noun ending in a final sound, is almost always masculine. There are many exceptions, but most of the time it's masculine. So for example, shirt, or long shirt, Indian style long shirt, kurta. That's a masculine word, kurta. So shirt is masculine. Other example, nouns ending in e that talk about an occupation, something that you do, your job. Those are mostly masculine. So for example, a tailor is a darzi. Darzi. That is a masculine word. Darzi. Words ending in oo or u, those are also usually masculine. So for example, alu, meaning potato, and pao, meaning like sympathy, emotional feeling. Words ending in stan, istan. So for example, Pakistan, meaning Pakistan, or Registan, meaning desert. Those are also masculine. And lastly, words ending in ban and ba are masculine. And you can remember this very easily by remembering two different words. Bachpan, meaning childhood, and budapa, meaning old age. So ban and ba, just remember childhood and old age. That helps you remember. So childhood is masculine and old age is masculine. Create that kind of association in your mind. Feminine words. There are many more patterns that mark feminine nouns. And the most common sign is a final e, like dari, or beard, as we talked about before. As I mentioned, e showing occupation, like darzi, the tailor, that's for men, that's masculine. But most of the time, a final e is for feminine nouns. There are a few other exceptions, like bani, that's the most common. Bani means water, and that's masculine. But once again, most of the time, those are feminine. Some feminine nouns end in a. We talked about that above. We said those are mostly masculine, a nouns, like kurta, but some of them are feminine. So for example, hava, meaning air, hava, air or wind, that is feminine. At and iyat, these words are from Arabic, and these are always feminine. So for example, qimat, meaning price, that's one example. Gah words are from Persian, the final ending gah. Gah means place in Persian. So dargah, literally meaning place of the door, is a shrine, a Sufi shrine. Lastly, words ending in ahat and avat, these are feminine. For example, gabrahat, meaning panic, that's feminine. And there you have it, a very simple introduction to these patterns. Gender's a funny thing. You really just kind of have to get used to it. With time, you'll develop an instinct as to which word is masculine and which is feminine, But I won't lie to you, it takes many, many years and many embarrassing mistakes and many awkward sentences before you properly master gender. Some people use techniques like creating two places in their mind. Let's say for me, I create Punjab and Toronto in my mind, and every time I learn a word that's, let's say, masculine, I put it in Toronto in my mind. And every time I learn a feminine word, I put it in India, in Punjab. That way, when I try to remember these new words I've learned, and I remember in which kind of environment I learn them. So if I'm trying to learn the word for dog, which is kutta, I think of a dog outside my door here in Toronto, it's masculine, then I'll know that it's a masculine word. So there are a few other techniques you can use for gender, but don't fret too much. With time, it'll all become pretty easy for you to learn.